Heyo, Monkeypuzzle here, and welcome. Thank you for joining me for episode number 15, playing the Unabridged Minecraft mod pack on the Primus server. And this is part 2 of making the Zetta big battery, a really big Zetta big battery. And it's not the max size one you can build. You can actually go up to 32 by 32, but we are filling as much as we can of this compact machine right here, and I think it's going to be plenty big. So last episode I got a floor of these battery walls. We talked about the different parts of this thing that's going to take. We went and checked out Brink's smaller version of it that he did in his tutorial, and now we're trying to make one that big. So in my inventory I have got a bunch more battery walls, and I'm hoping that I made enough to wrap around all the way around the sides. We're just leaving 2 blocks on top so that I have a place to stand when I come in here. Otherwise, I don't think there's any way that I could fill the whole thing. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead using my builder's wand and finish putting these sides together, and then I will join you for the next part. Well, I came out short once again, but we're pretty close. If you watched the last time, you saw that these were really expensive to make too, but thanks to the big reactor and the digital miner and, what's going on here? And the biodiesel generation we have in there, it wasn't really a problem to get this all put together. So we need 52 more of these, so we have to make another full stack. So that should be enough, more than enough now to finish that off. Tesseract frame per, and of course that's taking all the Inderium and the diamond and all that kind of stuff. So, but we should be doing okay still. See how much Inderium we have left. 732. Oh, that's not bad at all. And diamonds, oh, we're still over 500, so that's fine too. So let's look at some of the other parts we're going to need for this. So we're going to need, I want to put glass over the whole top, minus a space for the controller and the battery taps. I have an experiment I want to do with these first. So we're going to need actually 3 of these redstone energy cell frames. So 1, 2, 3. And one of those is going to go for the controller, which I'm going to need to make a multimeter for. I'm just missing the electrum gear, so that's not a problem. Let's go ahead and do that now. Ooh, what am I? Oh yeah, I was making that. Okay, so there's that and that. So that we have our controller, and then the other 2 of those frames will go for the power taps. So I should just be able to do that. And we've got 2 power taps. That's cool. And then we're going to need the glass. So the glass is going to be, if it's 13 by 13, there's going to be 11 by 11 of glass, and that's 121. So we got to make a bunch of this stuff. And so if that makes 4, we're going to need to make this recipe about 30 times. And there's 8 of these. So we're going to need about 240 illuminator frames. That's nuts. So that's about 4 stacks. So I got to make some more fused quartz. Clearly, oops, I should be looking up quartz. And I've been making a bunch of quartz with using the whatever that thing was in Britannia, the conjuring catalyst, or I forget the exact name of it. Oh, I was trying to make some graphite bars. I'm doing something wrong with that. But using that to make more nether quartz, so we had enough for this project. I'll be right back. Okay, I should be good to go now. We got 10 of those. And actually, I need to double that, don't I? All right, I'll be right back. Okay, there's another 10. And unless I'm forgetting something, we should be good to go. Oh, yeah, we're going to need sulfurous acid. Sulfuric. Let's see. They're calling it sulfurous acid, and that's fine. We'll go with that. And there's a black sulfur. We will get to that as the last thing. I don't know if that stuff actually hurts you or not. In real life, of course, it really does. Okay, so let's finish this up. Okay, so there's the whole wall of the thing. Now, I'm going to try something, and I don't know if it's going to work. On the south side, I want to put one of the terminals right on the port, which is right there. And I don't know if that's going to work. I'll actually have to change this if it doesn't. And we'll see, actually, if this sulfurous acid, how bad it is. So hopefully that's there on the other side. And, oops. Can't right click on it now or anything. So what I'm hoping to do is be able to pump the power out the side. Whether that's going to work or not, I have no idea. So we shall see. But first, I'm going to finish putting the glass. And actually, before I finish that, we're also going to have another terminal, the in terminal, coming this way. And I'm a little bit confused about this. I might have to make both here and then just send it out with a tesseract, but I'd rather have a hard port for the energy to go out. And I could go in and out through the same place, but that's not how I want to do it. So, okay, we're back again. So let's put this back. Shift click. And then let's try the electrodes again. Okay, managed to do that without crashing. Now, this is total overkill, but I figure I make enough, just to send the electrode all the way across. And that's going to be pretty much max output that we can do. And then over here, I want to make the other electrode. And I don't know if those can touch or share the same electrode. Probably not. So we're going to have to offset the one going out there just a bit like that. And then we put this on top. Well, I had a couple crashes in the recording of this, and apparently in one of them, my golden bag of holding got thrown on the ground and despawned. So lost a lot of good stuff in there. I'm going to have to work on replacing that. But in the meantime, I went ahead and made some more energy conduits. And while we're back outside, what I'm trying to do on this side that I keep messing around with is I'm trying to send energy out right here. So I can't configure it from here. Actually, now I'm remembering I should have configured it from the inside. But what we're going to do... Actually, that was an input. Okay. So we're going to put this here and see if energy, when we get this thing running, if energy comes out and charges that. If it does, we know it works. So that would be good. And then in the meantime, let me get back in here and configure this before I close it off again. So there, we're going to make this an exporting. So that should export power if this all works right. And then we shift right click that there and then put this electrode back. No crashes. Good. And then this one, we're going to put this. So this is importing. That's good. And okay, that's got all that stuff on there. I don't think I can do much with yet. And then we're going to want this to come in right there. And this part's not necessary, but I usually do it anyway. That's extract. That is insert. Now this stuff, if we press Wayla, can only do 20,000 RF per tick only, which is a lot, but it can't do the full capacity of all 6 generators, which is 24,000. So we'll just have to live with that because this is the conduit I have. I'm not sure if there's one that does better than that. If there is, somebody let me know. But in the meantime, we can close this off, except that I need to fill it with the sulfurous acid. So we got to go make some of that and then figure out how we're going to put it in here, probably with a floodgate or something like that. But the number of buckets we're going to need is this should be 11 by 11 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 11 by 11 by 10 minus the number of electrodes is how many buckets we'll need. So let's get out of here. I'll do that math in a second. And I just figured out that is a lot of buckets. That's 1,190 buckets of sulfurous acid. So I'm going to have to figure out how that goes. In my bag of holding was my hand pump. And so we'll make another one of those, which is... I was going to start with that, at least, as a way to pick this stuff up. And let's get a drum. And we'll need about 4 drums of sulfuric acids. And I'll have to figure out if there's an automated way to do this. But what you do is you get sulfur. And we have 2 kinds of sulfur. But apparently, we have lots of it, though, so that's not a problem. Is you got to make a sulfur block, which... Let's check that out again. Are these with a F or a PH? It's with an F. So a block of sulfur is like that. Oh, I was missing the gunpowder. The gunpowder actually is something that's going to limit me, although actually I can make gunpowder from flint with Britannia. So let's just make a bunch of these. So we can make 54. That was all my gunpowder. And then I'm going to need some water buckets. So there's one. Let's get another bucket. Oop. And like that. And then let's go find a place to do this. And for some reason, it's always nighttime when I want to go outside. Go out our cool door. And get some water. And then let me pick a spot. It doesn't matter right now. And my excavator was in my bag. So the way Brink did this is he made a 4x4 hole in the ground. Like this. And I'm going to do this once or twice until I figure out a faster way to do this, because I'm going to have to make quite a few buckets of this stuff. So anyway, let me just get this going as a full thing. There we go. And then you take these, apparently, and you put them down in the middle. You put them down in the middle of a 3x3, but the 4x4 is a way in order to get the water blocks to recharge automatically faster. So, and then I think there's a certain amount of time before it turns to sulfurous acid, or if there's something I'm supposed to do, I forget what it is. Oh, I probably have to light it, huh? Let me go get a flint and steel. I bet that was it. Okay, let's try that. And see if my memory was correct. Yep, that was it. So my idea was that as long as the drum is full of sulfuric acid, I shouldn't be able to pick up water. But right now, it doesn't seem to be picking up the sulfurous acid at all. I am finding out that this stuff doesn't hurt, so that's good if I have to go in there and make changes. it's not going to kill me. Oh, I wonder if it wasn't working because my drums were stacked. Unlikely. Oh, that was it. Cool. So I can skip the bucket part and just pick this stuff up like that. And then I'm just going to need to keep doing that until I have all 4 drums full, which is going to take me a while. So I guess I'll see you guys later. What was it? Cool. So I can skip the bucket part and just pick this stuff up like that. And then I'm just going to need to keep doing that until I have all 4 drums full, which is going to take me a while. So I guess I'll see you guys later. And you guys were probably face palming that for the glass I was using one of the parts that I make the glass out of, not the actual battery glass. So no problem. Just have to take these off. So for more gunpowder, I just need to do this. I'm going to make flint from gravel, which I can do because of iguana tweaks. And then up here, I'm still recharging my mana, but under this pool, I put the alchemy catalyst that I can use to change flint to gunpowder. And there may not be enough mana in this pool. I can always change it out to that pool, which does have enough, but that's how that's done. I was wondering if there's some way to use pistons and just be able to push these back and forth under here, depending on what you need. I have to see if that works. I don't see why not. Gunpowder. Well, this is an unfortunately grindy part of the whole process, but what I've done is I've just got 3 pools going, and that's just enough that I can just keep going around, and I never have to wait for the burning part. I just keep going around and sucking it up, letting the water reform. That's a nice tip that Brink gave there. Putting the sulfur in, lighting it, moving on to the next. I'm working on my second barrel of the 4 right now. Just got to remember to do that each time. Almost out of flint and steel. And eventually, we'll have enough. Alright, this is the last round going in a circle here. And this should do it. And it's actually closer to 5 drums full than 4. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this part was a major pain in the butt, but it's almost done. There's the last block of sulfur, and hopefully I did the calculations right, that there is enough, so I don't have to put another one down this time. And then this should be it. Yeah, that should be more than enough. So let's grab this. Woohoo! I don't have to do that anymore. And let's go back in here. And nice door. Let's make a floodgate. There it is. One of these guys. And I wonder what I need to make. Just the tank. So with that, we can make a floodgate. And then we're going to need some of that fluid conduit too. Like that, and then that should make it real easy to fill this thing up. So back in here, we're going to want to fill till this level right here. Let's just put this there, and it'll fill all but this block. So then if we put the fluid conduit right here, and the drum, actually, let's just do it so I can do all the drums. Oh, they stack. Cool. Dunk, dunk, dunk. And oh yeah, I should have just enough of this stuff. There we go. And then each of these has to auto extract. And as soon as I get the bottom one inserting, oh, I don't even have to. This should start filling full of battery acid. Which luckily doesn't hurt me, because I have a feeling I'm going to have to go back in there and change that one out. But anyway, in the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and let this fill up, and I'm going to go ahead and finish crafting that glass that goes on the top that I didn't finish the first time. And then we should be just about good to go, I think. All right, I'll see you then. Well, the filling is proceeding along nicely, and in just a couple minutes, we should be able to see if this thing actually works. Well, here it is. The last few buckets of sulfuric acid, and the thing is full. That's awesome. So now we should just be able to take this apart. Well, I didn't mean to take that, but it doesn't matter. And if I put this last piece in here, hopefully the multi-block will form. No. All right, what did I do wrong? Do I have to whack it with something? Like a wrench? Or did I do something else disastrously wrong? All right. That was anticlimactic. Let me figure out what I need, and I will be back. One of the things I'm noticing is that these only have certain orientations, like the controller only faces outwards, and I went and got this power tap from down there, and no matter which way you put it, it always faces up. So I have a feeling that these have to go on the top, and this might have to go on the side, which would be kind of annoying. So let me try that, though. I'm going to put this wall together, and then I'm going to have to break this electrode and see if placing the power tap on the top makes the difference. And if not, I'll probably have to figure out how to put the controller on the wall. And also, those ones I just broke, they're not going to be full source blocks, so I'm going to have to put the floodgate back in. So I'm going to do all that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I got it put together that way. So hopefully this floodgate has automatically replaced the source blocks that were missing. And no, I was afraid of that. So I bet you what it wants is this. Take that out and then put the controller right there and put the wall here. No, that's not it. Okay. I'll get this figured out. Well, I still haven't figured it out, but what I am trying, in case there was a source block that was missed in here from when I broke the sideways electrode, is I am pumping all the sulfuric acid back out, and then I'm going to send it back in with the floodgate. Because the thing won't form unless there is a source block of the electrolyte in all of the blocks within. And I could have actually saved myself some time if I'd looked at these more carefully. It says where they're valid for. So the battery taps are only valid for the top, and the controller is only valid for the sides. So it tells me that right there. Anyway, I'll meet you back after I've pumped it all back in, and hopefully it's not forming because of it's touching the sides here. Hopefully that's not what's confusing it. But I will keep at it until I figure this out. Alright, so I got all the sulfurous acid pumped out, but something I'm realizing before I fill it back up is if the controller has to go on the side, if I make it like this, if it did form, I would never be able to know how much power it could hold or in how full it is. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to reduce the size of it and pull it back one so I can look at the controller. Because the controller has to go on the side. So I'm going to have to... The walls are this, like, always want to suck you in. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to pull it back one, and then I'm going to fill it back up full of the acid and see if it forms. Alright, it's finally full. I've got a space over here with the controller right down here. So it's a little smaller than I wanted it to be. And it'll hold a little less energy because of that. But if it works, it'll be worth it. So let me just pick this stuff up because I don't want anything conflicting with the multi-block forming. Get our floodgate. And now, the moment of truth. No. Oh, well, I may have to end it here. It's getting pretty late at night. And I'm going to consult with Brink and try to figure out what's going wrong, why it won't form. All right, well, a good night's rest and some advice from my server mates, and I think I know what's wrong. So let's see what I can do. And it's pretty simple if they're correct. I should have noticed this. Let's get inside, and on here, look, it says valid for sides, and sides does not include top, even though top is definitely a side of it, but it's the wrong side. So now that we have this little crevice, we can put the glass over here, and then this is all going to be the battery wall. And at that point, theoretically, it should form. One other thing I want to do, though, and this was Brink's recommendation, and I have to admit I was thinking about this, is that these... I shouldn't talk too long under here, too, because I don't want to drown. But this is probably overkill, because each side of the electrode that is exposed to the sulfurous acid gives us 2500 RF of transfer capability. So that's 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 32.5 if you count the bottom of it, which is probably more than enough. And then for every one of these that I'm going to need to put acid in there, actually I should go get that because we don't want to leave unformed source blocks. There are lack of source blocks. Let me see. Let me put this down, and we'll just do it by bucket this time. Each bucket of sulfurous acid that we add gives us 150,000 more RF of storage. No, 150 million. Right. So it's totally worth it. Pretty sure. Hopefully I got that right. I did click on that. I hope that works right. Or it didn't just click out here. We'll find out. But let me do that. And let me just get a little closer this time. Do that. And then I'm just going to keep replacing those. And I'm actually going to do this again. This one again, just to be safe. So I'm going to finish replacing these. And then I will join you again for the reformation of the sides. Because, yeah, that was more than enough transferability. And for each one, we're losing potential storage capability. All right. I'm derping on this, so I'll meet you in a bit. All right. Got that done. Hopefully, I got all the sulfurous acid source blocks in place. And now, this is actually a good time to take advantage of our wand of equal trade. It's actually that focus right there. It's the focus of equal trade. And let's click on, shift right click on one of these. Doesn't seem to be working. That's weird. I have some of these here. Let's go ahead and just put one on the wall. Shift right click on it. Oh man, that's no good. I guess it's not a valid block for the wand of equal trade, because I was just going to go through and shift this wand of equal trade all these out. What about these? Do these work? Let's see. Can I shift right click on those? No. Oh man. So these don't work with Thaumcraft. Oh well, I'm gonna have to do this manually, which won't be so bad on top. I'm making sure I have my ring of magnetization. Where it's going to be difficult is on the side, because all this battery acid is going to want to come spilling out. But that's all right. I'll just deal with that. So let me just get this done real quick. And yeah, see you in a sec. Hey, it formed. Oh my goodness. That is awesome. So let's go down and see how much storage we have. It can hold 147 giga RF. Is that like 147 billion RF? I think so. All right, it's empty right now. That's a lot of RF. So that's pretty cool. Let me see. If that's 147 billion, which I need to double check on the figure. Well, actually, I'll go check on that in a second. Let me just finish up what I'm doing right here. I was going to figure out how many resonant energy cells that is that we have in here. But so now we have a big old battery. And I also learned that the plus is the input, the minus is the output. So over here for the input, we're going to do it like this. Let me see. So there is a limitation on this conduit that it only takes, let me see, 20,000 RF, and we're actually generating more than that. So we're going to do it both with the conduit and with the tesseract. So I think we'll put the tesseract there, and then to make sure we don't get any loops, we're going to do it like that. So there's a direct connection from the other side, but there's also going to be a tesseract connection. So it's kind of redundant, but I think the tesseract has unlimited flow through. So this one is going to be monkey stuff, and it's receiving it. So I'm going to change the name of that at some point, and although I have to change it all over, maybe I'll just leave it like that. But this is going to be all the sources, and they're all going to go into here. Now, I think I need another tesseract. Let me go get that, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, well, it's time to wrap it up. I spent a lot of time actually recording, trying to hook this up, get the power over there, and I'll save you all the trial and error and told you what I figured out. So I was trying to hardwire it here, and I did all this stuff. The limitation on this cable is 20,000 something RF per tick. And so I went ahead and actually made this fancy resonant flux duct stuff, because it can handle 32,000 RF per tick, according to NEI. So I figured that would take care of transferring all the power from the 6 diesel generators in here, because they all together, they multiply more than this stuff. But the problem I figured out, I kept wondering why they weren't all running and why wasn't all the power transferring. Well, these interfaces only transfer 10,000 RF per tick, so that was the bottleneck. So I did this thing where I was putting 2 of them together and sending them out 3 different interfaces, but then there was a problem of not enough interfaces to get it into the battery. So I ended up having just to do the tesseract. So this one here is on the monkey stuff, all the sources of monkey power, and it is sending that energy, because tesseracts are unlimited in their transferring. So it's only limited by the pipes that you stick into it. So, and then in here what I did, and I'll show you what I did outside of it in a second, but inside, so it's just coming in on the tesseract, which is really boring, but that's how it's going. And this is all the different sources of power generation. So this has the diesel generators, this has the big reactor. I'll show you in a second how I did it, but it even has the little trickle charge from the heat generators and the lava in there. If I put fuel in the Stirling generators, it all goes in here. And then that all goes into the thing. Right now, we've got 2%, 2.25 gajillion RF. These are gajillions. I got that verified, gajillions. And now over here, what I did do is I used one of these, the resonant flex ducts for the output. So coming out of here, this is 32.5. These are 32,000 RF. So that pretty much handles all the possible output from here. And then this direction, this is that new tesseract, the Monkey Bat. So anything I do out in the world that I want to hook power up to, I'll hook it up to the Monkey Bat, because that way all the power generation goes into the battery first, and then anything I use gets pulled out of here. So any surplus stays in here and we never lose any. And then coming out the sides here, this Ender IO conduit, the Ender energy conduit, it hooks just fine to the resonant flux duct. And because each of these are limited to 10,000, I split it up, and these hold 20,000. So therefore I can get the whole 20,000 that these can hold out of here. And then those, what they serve as is stop it, is a hard line to my whole base right here. So they come out of those two spots and rejoin to get the full 20,000 RF that they can hold. And then coming through here, I've got a hard line that goes to my ME network and also to all the machines around the base and everything here, so that these things will never run out of power at this point, unless for some reason I just drain the heck out of that battery, which is going to be pretty unlikely considering its capacity and how much I have pumping into it right now. Right now I've got the big reactor and those 6 generators all going full tilt into there, and I'm not using nearly that much right now. Occasionally I'll do something like the digital miner on Silk Touch or something like that, but that's all good. And hopefully the sugarcane and the hemp will keep up. These have gone down some. I think I started at about 72,000 before I got all 6 generators running, but that's okay. This is too much storage anyway. I'm going to get the number down, and then my challenge between episodes is going to be to get enough fertilized earth and other little things out there, the garden soil or the lily pads of fertility, so I can get the production of the farms to match the generation. And then eventually that will be full. We'll see. And one little thing I did back here, remember this was my original power generation, the 4 mechanism heat generators that are back there. And then I've got these Stirling generators. That all is cut off from going to the machines now, and it all goes into one of the monkey stuff tesseracts, and that's going to the battery as well. These are no longer necessary, except actually these will be a great indicator, because when the power backs up and these energy cells fill, these go red right here, that will tell me that that battery is full. So I have a visual indicator if I need to turn off the diesel generation or the big reactor or whatever. So that's very cool. And the primary power, of course, is going to come from the diesel generation, because I have a very finite amount of yellorium unless I keep hunting for it, but now I won't have to. So that's it. I think we have a very, very robust power system going on here. Can hang up my personal shrinking device for the moment. I don't have the hard line going between these because of those limitations, but whatever. We know what's going on. So just in 2 cubes, 2 meters squared, we've got tons of power generation, and we've got tons of power storage, gajillions. So with that, I, Monkeypuzzle, am going to sign out of here. Thank you for watching both of these episodes. If you did watch both of them, thank you. I know at least if you see me now, you watch this episode until the very end. So I appreciate that very much. And I will have more cool stuff to do next time. If you like this episode, let me know. It really helps when I know that you guys liked it. I look forward to all your comments. I learned so much from them. And I'm sure some folks will have some more great hints and tips for me, which I am always happy to hear. So all you know-it-alls, let me know it all. Okay. Anyway, Monkeypuzzle, signing out. Bye-bye.